In this series, I'll be taking you along with me as I get familiar with the Adobe Photoshop application. One of the first things you should get familiar with when using Adobe Photoshop is the layer panel. Most photos are made up of a number of layers. You can think about layers as photos stacked on photos in a very creative way. Let's look at how this works. So here we have the layer panel. Notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers in this photo. However, all but one of the layers are activated. We know a layer is activated by the presence of a eye icon, as you can see, the eye symbol to the left of the layer. For instance, if I were to activate the planet layer, you should magically see a planet appear on the photo, as we can now see. However, notice the planet appears to be in front of the giraffe, which doesn't seem to make much sense. The way we can adjust this is by simply moving the planet layer below the giraffe's layer, or maybe even below the waterfall layer, and then the photo should look a bit more realistic. Let's do that. So notice as I drag down, there's a blue line that appears, and it's now under waterfall, and I release, and now we can see the giraffe appears to be in front of the planet, as it should be. Another top tip for you is when working with photos, we often like to move things around, and to do this we can go to the tools menu where we have the 4 arrowed icon. We click on that, the move tool, and then we simply select the item we would like to move. In this case, we're going to move this moon, so I simply click on it, and now as you can see, I can move the moon around the photo. It's as simple as that. Another common edit in photos is sometimes we like to remove things that exist in the photo. And to do that, we can use this clever tool that looks like a plaster that's called the spot healing brush tool. Simply click on it, and then we move over to the item, let's say the second moon, that we'd like to remove. However, you need to ensure you select the layer that the item exists on that you would like to remove. What do I mean by this? Let's say we'd like to remove the second moon. This moon actually exists on the cloud and stars layer. The reason I know that is if I deactivate the layer by clicking on the eye icon, notice that second moon is no longer available. This is how I know that moon exists on that layer, clouds and stars. Let's reactivate the layer. Once again, select the spot healing tool and simply move our circle over the moon we would like to delete, and simply left click, and just like that, magic, we have disappeared the moon. Now, one final tip before I go. Often we would like to adjust the lighting or contrast of a photo. For instance, in this photo, we've got the moon, we've got some stars, we've got planets in the background. However, it appears a bit too bright. It's almost as if the sun is out. So let's make things look a bit more twilight. To do this, we click on the semicircle to create an adjustment layer, and we select brightness and contrast on this occasion. Notice now in our layers panel, we have a new layer called brightness and contrast. Next, ensure that you've selected the new layer you've created by clicking on the right of it, and here is where the magic happens. let's adjust the brightness of the moon, clouds, and stars. We're going to make it nighttime. Notice as I move the slider to the left, the image gets darker and it's more in keeping with a night scene. If I make it brighter again and darker. Okay, great. You might be wondering, why is it only the sky that's affected by this change? Why aren't the giraffes getting lighter or darker? It's because when you apply a contrast layer like this, it only applies to the layers that are below it. In this case, the only layer that's below our brightness and contrast layer is our clouds and stars layer. Okay, I think that's enough for today. We'll stop here for now and we'll pick up again in the second lesson. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.